This is the grid that the Bombers call home.
You're throwing the tee in the ground. If your hand's not shaking, there's something wrong.
Yeah, you got it. It's evident that there's levels to the game. I'm in my element, flow is like water. I'm forced to a fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding, you do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center. Word to Spike Lee. I'm in my element, yeah. I'm in my element, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element, yeah. I'm in my element, yeah. I'm in my element.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at the home of Long Drive in Mesquite, Nevada. Volume number 2. Bobby Bradley along with Alexis Belton. Alexis, you haven't been out here since 2019. What's it like coming back to the home of Long Drive?
It has been a minute, but this is by far the holy grail of Long Drive, so it's exciting to be here and exciting to watch the guys play. I think we're in for a nice treat today.
64 men will enter battle, but only one man will be standing on top of the mesa as the champion, Martin Borgmeyer. World Championship in 2022 on this grid, and the first to win this year. Thanks to GF Sports and Entertainment for providing 11 tour stops this year, including the World Championships in Atlanta. But Martin Borgmeyer, 2 wins on this grid. We will see him later today, but we're starting off with the Hope Sound winner, Justin James, 2017 world champion, world number 1 for several years. JJ is going to be starting off this group, and got a lot of good hitters in this round of 16. We'll have 4 round robins of 16 hitters. We'll go down to 32. 32 guys are going to hit tomorrow, and a lot of golf balls are going to be hit the next couple days. But
without a doubt, this section that we'll see now will be a point system.
Mm-hmm.
So first place will take away 200, second place 100, so on and so on, down to 25 points for fourth place. But then it gets really exciting when we see the head-to-heads, which will come tomorrow. So most definitely tune in for that. And that's kind of how the breakdown of the sport goes. They'll have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to hit 6 balls, all in the grid.
yeah, we always say you got to get to the final 8 because it's heads-up matches, single elimination from there. There's no wind right now currently. It's dead, but as of about 1, 2 o'clock, we're going to start seeing massive gusts of wind, and they just announced that if you hit the back of the mesa, it's going to be 476 yards, and they will be doing ties. So we're going to be expecting to see 460, 470-yard drives on this grid. I kind of messed around yesterday. We did a segment of like what it's like to warm up on the range and then walk down to hit, and we had a nice little gust of wind and got to pop a couple 400-yard drives yesterday, which was fun. And
did you get the nerves all over again?
No, because I knew I was just going to mess around and hit a local qualifier, but it was a lot of fun. The longest drive yesterday was from Eddie Fernandez, the 2000. I think he won in 18 and 2022 Masters Division world champion.
And our recent Hope Sound Master, champion.
He'll be joining us in the booth here in a little bit. We'll be asking Eddie some questions. But yeah, yesterday the longest ball was 452 yards. Eddie ended up qualifying for the Open Division World Championships in October in Atlanta. So here we go. Justin James, Kyle Richter, Seb Twiddell, Anthony Liuzzi.
What a great last name. You guys will also be seeing some numbers here on the screen, and that's provided through Flight Scope, who's given us not just how far the guys are hitting, but we're going to be able to see ball speeds, club speeds, along with height, and that will really help us see who's optimizing the ball the best way, which is the balls being Bridgestone.
Yep, the E9 ball from Bridgestone. Right now we don't have a monitor up in slot number 3. Seb Twiddell is in slot number 3. Him and Justin James are going to be the fastest guys here that you'll see this morning, or in this group of hitters. Seb Twiddell set the ball speed record on TrackMan at 240.8.
He did.
Justin James, though, just flighting it. The last 2 or 3 events, he has looked. We're going to start off with the first phenomenal of the tournament. But JJ's looked awesome. He ended up winning out in Hope Sound. He beat Kyle 420 to 417. But Justin James, 2017 world champion in slot number 1. Seb Twiddell with a number at 381. Right now, there is no wind. It is calm. JJ 215 ball speed. Still going to wait on some the numbers to pop up here in slot number 3. But Seb Twiddell will probably be a guy that's going to be in and around 220 to 225 ball speed. JJ right now starting off this session. He's a pro's pro. He's been doing this for a really, really long time. He entered the sport in 2016. He's going to be on autopilot between probably 215 to 217 to stay within himself, put some numbers on the board. Right now, Seb Twiddell is in the lead at 381, Kyle Richter at 379, and Justin James at 376. Kyle Richter looked good in Mesquite. He did the local regional qualifier. He ended up qualifying for Worlds earlier on this year on this grid. So he's accustomed to this grid, and he's been successful on it. You know, winning a regional is a tough feat in itself. They ended up taking 5 guys out of about 30-something hitters, I believe, in the beginning of the year. And yesterday, I think they had 26 hitters for 5 spots for the World Championship. So there's going to be 128 guys that compete at the World Championships in Atlanta later on this year.
It's definitely the best of the best that come out. But if you want to see how you size up against some of the longest ball hitters here in Long Drive, you can actually sign up at your local TrackMan to be a part of the virtual tournaments that we have. So check that out on our website and socials to get more information. Yeah.
What GF Sports and Entertainment have done, it's going to bring a lot more people into the sport of long drive, and then, you know, having fun just swinging the driver as hard as you can and competing against people from literally all over the world. And Justin James now is in the lead at 385 yards, which I feel is a really good ball right now with absolutely no wind. It's a little chilly. I'd say it's like high 50s, 60s, but there's no humidity. So
no humidity. It's a lot of fun to watch Seb, too. I think one of the biggest things it's going to be for him is making sure that he gets the ball on the grid. But that was a great start to the tournament.
Seb Twiddell, and what I like to see with Seb right now is that the first 4 out of 5 balls are in play. And we talked about Seb and Sam Judah, guys that new to the sport. They're coming into, I mean, pretty much their full season. And Seb Twiddell with a 393 on his last ball. What I look for Seb and guys like Sam Judah is that left to right movement. Can they tighten it up? Because their ball speed and club speed's plenty. Like they're there. So and you're going to see like Seb Twiddell is going to get better and better and better and better as this year goes on. Him and Matt Stubbs, both from Australia, have been working really hard.
Just getting back in the country.
Yeah.
I think they were participating in an event in Germany. I think another fun thing to look at with Justin James is he plays the game. He understands he has a game plan every single time, and so that's the difference that you're going to see there.
But Seb Twiddell takes down the set, 393 yards. Justin James, 385 and 379. And what we were talking about, the 2 Aussie boys, I mean, they're literally hitting at every single tournament this year. So you're going to watch them improve drastically. And to see Seb Twiddell start off with 5 out of 6 in the grid is a really, really good sign.
Speaking of Sam Judah, he's going to be in this next set.
I always wait for Seamus when there's new names, you know. I'm going to say it's AJ Katusi, but we'll see because Seamus is really good at pronunciating everybody's names.
He's the Yoda of names, for sure.
Brycer Plank, Sam Judah, AJ Katusi, and Patrick Raber. Patrick Raber hit yesterday in the local and in the regional, so he's got a couple miles on himself from yesterday, but it's so much fun hitting downwind on this grid. It's the best.
It is the best.
It's
a rolling grid. It's a grid, if you hit it long, if you have a low spin, you're going to get the most out of it. So I'm really excited to see some of those balls hit the barrier back there.
Yeah, we have a feeling it's going to get it gets crazy here in Mesquite with this wind. You start getting these massive gusts of wind, but right now it's 55 degrees. Southwest winds at 7 miles per hour. And, 393 is a big ball currently, but the wind is going to keep picking up as the day goes on. And I've been out here where they've had to delay because of wind. In 2014, I mean, it was 40, 50 mile per hour winds where they had to stop. So selfishly, like to hit in those conditions. But
out of these 4 groups in this set, who are you looking forward to kind of coming out on top?
Well, the guy that I'm looking at today is Sean Johnson. Sean he was essentially the rookie of the year with PLDA, and he was. I think he was the rookie of the year. He's had a couple. I don't think he advanced the first time in Mesquite, but like he's a guy that is going to make some adjustments, and I really want to see how Sean Johnson hits because he's a world class hitter, and he's done really well on this grid. So that's a guy that I'm looking for. And also, like I said, Sam Judah following up a top 3 finish, a T3 in Hobe Sound. Sam's a guy that I watched his movement left to right tighten up big time. And, he's a guy that I think that he gets locked in, gets a final 8. He can win a tournament this year for sure.
And he just put his first one in the grid, which is always great because now you can just kind of go at it. Yeah, I'm really excited about this tournament in general because this is an event that anything can happen. I think we kind of have an anticipation of who's going to be in that top 16 at events like Hobe Sound, but this one, it's anybody's game.
Especially when it gets downwind. Right now, it's pretty neutral conditions. Bryce Verplank finished 3rd in the world on this grid in 2021, so Bryce is a guy that we're going to be looking at as well. Got a really, really good golf swing baseball player, played at the University of Texas.
UT. They've had some good golfers come out of there, I think.
Yeah, Jordan Spieth's
maybe Jordan or something.
Scotty Scheffler. All right, Sam Judah, 378. AJ Katusi, 356. Patrick Raber, 347. Bryce Verplank still working on a number here in slot number 1.
And each of these guys are hitting in different slots that they will rotate and continue to hit in these slots. Some slots are easier than others depending on your swing path, how you kind of flight the ball. And so it'll be interesting to watch how they finish in each slot here. I want to say the number 1 seed always ends in the 4th slot.
Yep. All right, so Bryce Verplank, plenty fast enough. Last ball, 221 mile per hour. Just a little bit of a hook there. So he needs to just slow it down just a tad. Find the center of the club face, hit a ball and play. This one's out right. Yeah, that first set, going back to Seb Twiddell, 5 out of 6 in play. It's a good way to start off a tournament.
Awesome.
It's a setter for him. He's got 200 points.
Builds confidence.
We haven't seen a tie or a playoff yet in a round robin format this year, but 450 always seems to be in and around the bubble number. But last tournament, it was Zach Holton and Ryan Gregnall with 500 points, and they didn't even make it. They didn't make it into the final 8. Never seen that before, to have 500 points and not even get into a playoff. So you could literally get in at 375 and you can get bounced at 500. So wins are extremely important. Bryce Verplank settling down. He looked really fast and ends up winning the set at 390. So Bryce Verplank go for his first 5 and finds the center of the club face.
On the last ball at that.
Sean Johnson, Dwight Riddle, Matthew Love, Gabriel Carr Landry. Gabriel ended up getting an exemption yesterday at the Worlds. He hadn't been out in a while, so he was on a 4 or 5 year hiatus, but came back and ended up hitting the ball really well. Very, very good ball flight. Straight, flat ball, just straight and 205, 206, 207. So interested to see how he comes back after a bunch of swings yesterday. But
what
Sean
a grid
Johnson
to come back to.
Yeah.
If you're going to come back with a 5 year hiatus, this is the grid to come back to.
Watched Matt Love hit in Mesquite a couple months ago. Vocal, I love it. Very passionate on the tee box. Good ball striker. Guy's going to be in and around, right around the 200 number.
Here we are. We hear it already. The passion.
But yeah, I'm watching Sean Johnson here in slot number 1.
And Sean Johnson is what, 6'6", 6'7"?
He's tall.
He's a really tall guy, has a long width to his swing, can be very efficient, and so all he has to do is really put it in the grid, give himself a chance, and keep building on that. I think one of the most positive things coming off in the first set is that you don't necessarily have to take number 1. You don't have to win the set to get into the next round. You just have to put up a good number. You can even take 0 and put some good numbers up in the rest of the 4 sets. And so,
just getting points is important. You know, these guys that are 220, 225 mile per hour ball speed. They can get away with a couple OB sets and still sneak in. But like when you get down to that final 16, like we talked about, like I believe like Gregnall might have had an OB set there where those extra 25 points might have got him in.
Deal.
You know, and Gregnall and Zach Holton, literally, they're just sitting there knocking on the doorstep of winning a tour event. We got Dwight Riddle in the lead right now at 365. Watching Dwight over the last couple years, he's progressed in speed. He's a guy that's got up to 220 mile per hour ball speed. So Dwight Riddle in slot number 2, Pride of Texas, rocking the Jordans normally, but no, it looks like he's going away from the Jordans. He's got the Tiger Woods hat on and he's got the Tiger Woods shoes on. So
I mean, if you're going to channel anything, I think Tiger is.
He's good.
He's a good one to channel.
Good.
If you have a club in your hand.
Mm-hmm. I was rocking the Tiger Woods hat my first local ever, 2007.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
TW.
I was rocking the hat backwards. I was wearing cargo khaki shorts, too. Untucked shirt. Sean Johnson, 375. Dwight Riddle, 365. Gabriel Carr and Landry at 355. And Matt Love at 346. No wind right now. Flags are dead still.
Matt putting a lot of balls in the grid, which is always great to see. Sean just threw one out there. I think this one might even
389. So yeah, Sean 221 ball speed. Sean Johnson. No pressure, Sean Johnson, but I got you making the final 8. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
All right. Speaking of Jordans, we've got NBA Finals going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a team that you're pulling for?
Well, I'm from South Florida. I mean, I always grew up a Bulls fan because my whole entire family is from Chicago. So I was a Michael Jordan guy all the way through. Still rocking the Jays right now. But it was a lot of fun when Shaq and D Wade were down in in Miami, and then Wade County partnering up with LeBron and Bosh. It was fun. From 2011, 2014, going to Heat games was the best. So yeah, I'm rooting for the Heat and interested to watch the Lakers and Golden State.
That's always a great matchup.
The Splash Brothers. I mean, those guys are just. It's so much fun to watch those guys play basketball. It's actually my favorite sport is basketball.
Yeah.
So even though I played baseball and golf, I'm always a basketball guy.
Who are the Splash Brothers out here? Do you think in the world long drive tour?
I mean, you got to go with.
Jacob
and the Splash Brothers, yeah. Well, I said as far as guys that are really, really good at long drive that win a lot, you got, Martin, JJ, and Kyle Berkshire. Those guys are pretty good at their craft. But, yeah, I mean, those guys, as far as accuracy goes, I mean, I think of guys like Justin Moose and I mean, like guys that just don't miss. I mean, even Dave Mobley. I mean, Mobley's going to go 5 for 6 in the grid. Bobby Wilson, names from the past. So right now we got Reed Russell, professional ball player. Jeremy Nowak, professional ball player. Matt Stubbs. I mean, he just looks professional.
He does. He does. Professional Australian.
And then we got Keith Hawkins. Keith ended up winning the Amateur World Championship last year in the PLDA. So got some really good hitters. If I remember watching Keith, just a guy that he's going to be in and around. I think last year I saw him at like 202, 204, just flighted it really well. Really, really good hitter here in slot number 4. And that's another thing. World champion amateur division, so he knows how to win. And I don't think he's going to worry about who's on the tee box with him. But right now, Reed Russell, slot number 1, finished runner-up to Martin Borgmeyer in Mesquite. The beginning of the year. Once again, thanks to GF Sports and Entertainment. They acquired World Lawn Drive and the PLDA and bringing 11 events to us. And always fun to be out here in Mesquite, Nevada. This is Volume 2. It used to be the Diamond in the Desert launch, but this is Volume 2 for Mesquite. And we're going to be in the Denver region next tournament. So we're going out.
Will be another great event to see the balls fly as far as possible with the elevation there.
I believe Koch went, sorry, Josh, if you went 496 or 497, but he ended up hitting almost went 500 yards in Denver last year.
If you're watching and you're near that area, make sure you come out and be in the stands, be a part of the action live. So we're still waiting for some numbers from Reed Russell. As of now, we don't see anything in the grid.
Yeah, we'll update you after this group. as far as points go. But right now, Seb Twiddell, Sean Johnson, and Bryce Verplank ended up winning their sets, so they have 200 points. Justin James, Sam Judah, Dwight Riddle both took seconds.
Reed and his family here, all the way from Longview, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So Reed
He's got one
was
right
drafted to the Houston Astros, correct? Where was Jeremy?
Jeremy was with the Orioles.
Orioles?
Yep.
What team do you have out of those? It's baseball season.
Last year the Dodgers were so good during the regular season, you know, and but I mean the Rays are on fire to start off. I mean, especially with that budget that they have, and that's like it's the worst stadium in the history of all of sports. It's Tampa Bay. It's the Rays Stadium. It sucks, you know. But Reed Russell, 376, looks like he's taken the lead here. Last two balls he went 374, 376. No walk at 370. Nat Stubbs 352. Keith Hawkins at 367. Going to be interesting to see later with this wind. 376 yards. So before they ended up moving the tee box back just a smidgen. So the farthest you could hit before was 469 on this grid. So they ended up pushing it back another 7 yards. So we have a little bit more room to work with. The ground. So talking to Bobby Peterson, he was ball calling and watching balls land out there. Not as much rollout this time as there was in March. So it's going to be a little bit more of a carry grid today. But he did say Eddie Fernandez did have a ball that rolled out about 50 yards yesterday, sweeping across the grid left to right. And he said it rolled out by a couple yards. But he's like, there's certain pockets on this grid where it's still going to roll. So, but we're staring down the barrel right now. It's perfect conditions currently. But all right, Seb Twiddell, Sean Johnson, Bryce Verplank, Reed Russell all get wins. We're in the second set. This is group number 1. 16 men will hit here, and we'll do it 3 times over. So we'll be here all day today in the round of 64 in Mesquite, Nevada, the home of Long Drive.
The home. And they actually just built this platform, which is pretty new. It's kind of what's allowing us to have a few extra yards. It's a lot of fun to watch. I haven't hit on this yet, but absolutely beautiful. Yeah,
good turf interaction. Like you're not. I didn't. I mean, I hit yesterday and didn't. No slipping, no nothing. Easy to get the tee in the ground. I mean, this is it. This is the Mecca. This is. I always say in baseball, Yankee Stadium. Seb Twiddell, 216 ball right down the left center of the fairway, or the grid as we call it. But once again, keying in on Seb, 381, 365. He's putting balls in play. And like I said, this is the guy that's going to have the most improvement out of anybody this year. He's a guy that can put up just insane ball speed numbers.
Continues to break records.
Yeah, he's the fastest guy on the planet currently. And these guys, like, were pushing speed. You had Seb, Kyle, Greg Null, Martin Borgmeyer. I mean, Borgmeyer ended up jumping, like, significantly. It went from Kyle was at 236.8, and then Borgmeyer goes 239.3. And then, I mean, it was just, that was so much fun, being in this sport for 17 years to watch these guys push each other.
In a matter of days.
It was crazy. It was so much fun to watch. But
go ahead.
But Seb, for me, I wanted to see him start hitting balls in play, getting comfortable. Someone like Justin James, like JJ's 215, 217 right now, but we know that he can get up to 230. I just want to see balls in play from him, and I said he's a guy that's going to be getting better and better and better as the year goes on. Because once he gets to the World Championships, he's going to have 15, 16 events under his belt. So
he definitely has put in the work, and even as I'm watching his swing now versus last event, he's kind of taking a little bit more time.
Yep.
He's got a rhythm that's kind of getting down in that kind of pump. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he's in the 4th slot, which is a little difficult if you're trying to figure out what ball flight you want. But he's made bounds of improvement even from Hope Sound.
Yep. He ended up taking second in Germany in a European Long Drive event a couple weeks ago. So Dwight Riddle ends up going OB, Bryce Verplank OB, Keith Hawkins 364, Seb Twiddell 381.
And huge shout out to Martin Bergmeyer for helping put on that event in Germany, making sure that long drive is global. It's great what GNF Sports is doing to make sure this continues to be a global sport. You can participate no matter where you are. So if you are overseas right now and you're looking to get plugged in somewhere, check out online and see where you can try and qualify even to come to Worlds.
Yeah, like yesterday, it was a perfect example. Just, I was going out there and just having some fun, but, I mean, I was 100 and I think I topped out at 196 ball speed. But if you flight it right, what have you, you got a chance. You got a chance to compete. And I say, granted, these guys that are hitting right now are significantly faster. But, I mean, ideal conditions yesterday for someone that might not be as fast, a little bit of a roll grid and downwind, and it brings a lot more players into action. But, it was mentioned before from someone like Martin Borgmeyer, if you're in and around 185, 190 ball speed with a stock driver, you can generate significantly more speed. I mean, you look at a guy like Matt Stubbs here in slot number 4, that was 126 mile per hour club speed when he first got into this, and now he's almost touching, he's mid 150s right now. It's insane. Like I said, we'll key in on Matt Stubbs.
Definitely having a longer club helps to have a little bit more speed. But the other thing is these guys can use these clubs in a tournament as well, because these are all USGA conforming clubs.
Absolutely.
So they might be a little bit different with the shafts, with the length, even with kind of the degree of head, which makes this sport as fun and interesting as it is. But they also can hit these on the regular golf course.
Sam Judah just looking, he looks awesome. He really truly does. He has figured it out, being a professional athlete. He's made adjustments to where that ball looks just nice and tight, left and right, a little left to right, not much movement in his golf ball. He's at 382 right now. Sean Johnson at 359, Anthony Liuzzi at 309, and then Matt Stubbs trying to find a number.
What do they say, righty tighty, lefty loosey?
Yeah. All right, so Stubbs still working on a number here. Just taking a peek at his numbers, a little off miss here. All right, Sean Johnson at 359. Like I said, the guy that I'm keying in on in this group.
And Sam Judah on cruise control. 3 out of 4 balls currently in play. If you're just tuning in, we are narrowing down 64 players to the top 32. This is a point system with number 1 taking home 200 points all the way down to number 4 taking 25 points, looking to see who makes it to the next round.
Sam Judah still in the lead. But yes, 8 men will survive out of these 16. If there is a tie for 8th, they will go into a 6-ball playoff, but we haven't really seen any playoffs yet this year.
Not yet, but
not yet.
We know we will see something like that because these guys are so good and so close to each other.
So yesterday, talking to Bobby Peterson, he was talking about downwind. He was looking at like 130 to 150 feet in the air and about 1,600 spin, but things change throughout this event.
They do. We will check in as the next group sets up.
You can compete for your shot to make it to the World Long Drive Championship. With a $25 community membership, you'll get the opportunity to join a local qualifier in your area in hopes of advancing to regionals, a 10% discount on merchandise, and insider access to pre-sales and registrations in the newsletter. Join now at worldlongdrive.com.
And we are back on set 2 with Kyle Richter, Reed Russell, Patrick Raber, and Matthew Love. We've already seen some really great numbers put up here. If you're just tuning in, we are here in Mesquite, the holy grail of long drive.
perfect conditions right now. 55 degrees out, southwest winds at 7 miles per hour. Seb Twiddell with 2 wins to start off his tournament and putting a lot of balls in play. So Seb looking really good here. Sean Johnson with 300 points and Sam Judah. It's still early. We watched a lot of guys come from the clouds, especially like Sam Judah. Guys, and I remember Jacob Galladay as well. After 3 sets, they were right around 150 points, 175, and they ended up going win-win or win in a second, and they were able to get in
there.
So you see a lot change late in the tournament, rounds 4 and 5. But right now, if you have 400 points after the first 2 sets, you're looking pretty good.
Looking pretty good. You're just trying to put some good swings on it, get some points on the board. They're hitting hundreds of balls, and you just want to make sure that you're keeping up good energy and stamina to make it through the entire day.
And that's something that I feel like Justin James is the best on the planet at, is conserving energy, and he is really good at hitting golf balls at 215 to 217 and balls 225 and up. And I mean he plays the marathon game as well as anybody. And say Reed Russell, 395. Reed's a guy that's made two final eights to start off the year. And Reed finishing second to Martin Borgmeyer on this grid earlier this year is looking good as well, with a win in set number 1, and looks right now 395 is a monster number. That's the longest drive so far by a couple yards. Seb Twiddell at 393 and Sean Johnson at 391. So Reed Russell
already hearing some noises out there, so you know that they're putting everything that they can into every shot.
Absolutely. Reed Russell looking good here at 395. Patrick Raber 375. We're going to have Eddie Fernandez join us here in a little bit. The 2-time senior division world champion. It's not Masters anymore. Senior. We talked about Justine a little bit ago. Justine tuning in. She hasn't sent any text message or anything, so we're not in trouble yet. I'm not in trouble yet. So Justine, hello.
And if you are tuning in on YouTube, please leave some comments in the comment section. We would love to talk with you guys. If you have any questions.
Yeah, we're going to check into YouTube right now. I'm going to go on. Take a peek.
And Reed Russell winning that set with 395, longest ball of the day. Patrick Raber at 375, Matthew Love at 395. Kyle Richter didn't get one in play this round, but he has 3 more sets to go. We've got the final group of set 2 up.
Jeremy Nowak, Justin James, Gabriel Carr Landry, AJ Katusi. We are live at the home of Long Drive in Mesquite, Nevada. Volume number 2, thanks to GF Sports and Entertainment World. Long Drive is back in Mesquite for the 2nd time this year.
AJ, a newer face, all the way from Pinehurst, North Carolina.
They have a couple good golf courses out there.
I think I've heard of a few. Justin James, our reigning champ from Hobe Sound.
Just a smoothie 218, 12.4 launch. JJ with a bullet.
Beautiful
right
flight
down
path.
The middle. 386 Justin James.
He's so consistent in his ball speed and club speed.
I like those launch and spin numbers from Justin James, 13.9, 177. Tip of the cap to FlightScope. Their engineers are out here today helping us out and providing all the data for you to watch. Who are tuning in as of right now. We have almost 300 people tuning in on YouTube, World Long Drive. Aaron Hoffman, God bless America, and God bless Lawn Drive. God bless everybody from all over the world tuning in today.
Amen. Jeremy currently with the longest ball of this group at 368. Oh, Justin James at 386. Sorry, he is the longest so far.
I feel like his third ball was a good ball. Maybe a little bit of a miss hit from JJ, but we'll see those numbers. I like the launch and spin, but I feel like ball number 3 might be the farthest one, even though his first one was 218-ish, 385. 3 mile per hour difference, ball speed. Once again, JJ, that's the first one that I actually see him step on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when he had a little giddy up in his step there. JJ at 221.3.
You could see the kind of pause at the top there, and he let that loose.
So, like I said, he has multiple gears, and that was the first one that I actually saw JJ step on. Went OB right. But right now, JJ looks safely in the lead at 386. 222.8. A little bit lower of a launch from JJ, but looks like this one's going to go OB left. Like I said, JJ's the type of kid that just gets stronger as the tournament goes on, and he's able to make changes on the fly.
Without a doubt.
Hit it high, hit it low, hit it cut, hit it draw, hit it straight.
Shocked that 5th ball didn't stay in, but doesn't matter because he took this set at 386.
JJ at 300 points. So we are through 2 sets. We will give you the breakdown here of the leaderboard once it is updated from Seamus Powers. The voice.
The one and only.
Over the PA. It was Mike Ambrose for so long. Ambrose is here as well. A part of the World Lawn Drive staff. And he was the GM. He ran the show with Art, Lawn Drivers of America for a long time. So it was always soothing and nerve-wracking to hear the voice, of Mr. Ambrose, because it's crunch time when he says your name. You're on deck, you're in the hole,
the
you're
grid
on
is
the tee.
clear.
Oh yeah,
you get all the feels again, and man, the stories the two of them could tell out of all the long drive they've seen over the years.
Oh yeah, Ambrose is an absolute legend. Fortunate enough to work with him. But Seb Twiddell, Patrick Graber, Sean Johnson, Jeremy Nowak are going to start off set 3, but after 2 sets, Reed Russell, Seb Twiddell, Sean Johnson, Justin James, Sam, Judah Bryce are playing, Jeremy Nowak. And then Patrick Graber and Keith Hawkins are tied at 150. 300, 400 points here after the first 2 sets is looking really, really good. Seb Twiddell off to a very nice start.
A great start.
Bunch of balls in play.
Stays in. Looks like that carry distance was somewhere around 375, provided by Flight Scope.
And this is an important set for Seb. If I was him, I would try to really focus on maybe step on the gas just a little bit, but try to hit a lot of balls in play, because if he has 600 points, this is a marathon. Today's the easy day.
Yeah.
You only have to hit 30 golf balls, so he can conserve some energy, but let's get 600 points and then maybe make some adjustments and try to conserve some energy for tomorrow, because the guys tomorrow are going to hit
it's a lot tighter.
78 balls in competition to win the tournament. So that's a lot of swings.
A lot of swings.
So Seb's working on a number here. He's still OB. Start off set number 3 for himself.
Sean Johnson in at 364. Always love watching Jeremy swing the club.
Justine says hello. Justine, hello.
Hi, Justine. Wish that you were here.
All right, this one floating down the right side from Seb Twiddell, 220 ball speed launch at 14, and then did he spin it? That is the question. Spin numbers did not pop up on that one, but a lot of movement left to right. That was almost a 50 yards left to right.
That might.
Looks like he's going back to the things that were happening before. When he started to really step on the gas, you're seeing a lot of movement left to right with Seb's ball. So he's at 390. That one stayed in. shows, wow.
He's definitely flirting with that OB on the right side, but when he gets one in, we see numbers like 390.
So, okay, we have a 60-yard wide grid. He's in slot number 1. He hits a Kevin Blankhorn pull cut. Starts it out left, but still gave himself 50 yards of room. I mean, he still has room. So that ball that if he was in slot number 4 would have been OB.
Which is where we saw him struggle a little bit there. Yeah, these are little things that once he sorts out and he gets an understanding, he'll figure it out and he'll be a consistent person at the top in the top 4 every single tournament.
Yeah, Seb Twiddell, 600 points. Now he can relax. He can relax here. I mean, he can work on some things, but what I really liked the first 2 sets from Seb Twiddell was just he was just in control, very similar to like what Justin James is doing right now. You know, these guys are so fast. They have trained their bodies to, you know, like cruise at 215, 220 mile per hour. And right now in this round of 64, that's going to work. You know, 215 is ultra fast.
Just want to make sure you get to the next day. And one thing that you'll see now as you have some of these players that are kind of locked in to day 2 is them trying out different clubs.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see what Seb's going to work out on these next few sets. But right now, we're getting ready for our next group.
So Jeremy Nowak going back-to-back ends up taking 3 seconds, and he's at 300 points. He ended up going 385 yards in the last set. We've talked about it on the broadcast numerous times. I think the hardest set is the guy that's ranked number 1 that starts off the event and then has to wait, and he's the last hitter of round 2. But now Nowak goes back-to-back. So would you rather wait 25 minutes or go back-to-back? What would you rather do?
I think I'd rather wait 25 minutes. What about yourself?
I kind of liked going back-to-back unless you were making like a massive adjustment. I remember, you know, like Kyle. Kyle went OB the first set, made some adjustments, comes back, bang, wins it. Or if you win right away, it's like, I want to hit again type of deal. I don't want to wait 20, 25 minutes. So that's the hardest set, I believe, is to wait that long. So, and like I said, it only happens a couple times throughout a round robin. But the back-to-backs, I don't mind them at all. So Seb Twiddell with 600 points. Very impressive start to his tournament.
And if you're just tuning in, you're watching some of the best, the fastest, and the longest hitters in the world, hitting 6 balls in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 60 wide grid here in Mesquite, the holy grail of long drive. Trying to compete to make it to 32s for tomorrow, where we will crown a champion.
Got some questions here. Anthony Moreno, what would you do? Yeah, what would you do? Say the best thing to do after a strenuous speed session. I mean, a lot of these guys have trainers. I mean, these guys work out, like they eat, they sleep. I mean, I can go off of what I see all the time with Kyle. I mean, he tracks every calorie that he puts in his body. Steps, like if he doesn't have a certain amount of steps in a day, he'll literally do it until he hits that number. Sleeping, I mean, these guys are professional athletes. They're
some of the best athletes in the world. And some of them have full-time jobs on top of this, but I think some of the best ways of recovery, one I think that we've seen, and I've seen some of the guys implement this as well, is cold baths.
Yeah.
Kind of helps reset the body really quickly, and you'll also see them foam rolling, using, you know, some of the massage guns out there as they're trying to recover quickly. But a day-to-day, I think those are some of the tools that are being used.
Yeah, Reed Russell looking good as always, 388. He's in the lead against Dwight Riddle, AJ Katusi, and Anthony Liuzzi. And like you said, greatest athletes in the world on this stage. Probably 2017 or 18, Marie said that. And I'm sitting there watching the live broadcast. I was in like Washington, D.C., and I'm like, I love that he said that. You know, like I love it. I mean, all these guys played professional sports, but whether, you know, and like you said, you played basketball and what have you, but I mean, if anybody's like, oh, you're not the greatest athletes in the world, I always joke around. I was like, were you drafted in the first round?
Right.
The Pirates? I was.
The best athletes, and we will see more here when we come back.
Introducing the new Bridgestone E9 Long Drive. Co-designed by World Long Drive athletes to push the limits of distance. Thanks to extreme ball speed and superior aerodynamic flight. Engineered for you to hit your longest drive. Drive the new E9 Long Drive. Extreme distance for your game.
And we're back with Matthew Love, Keith Hawkins, Justin James, and Sam Judah. This is going to be a great set. I'm really excited to see what Justin James does here as always. Sam Judah is one to be looking out for as he's been climbing the ranks and just growing in his game here in World Long Drive. We're here in Mesquite, Nevada, home of Long Drive and the Holy Grail.
Oh, yeah. Sam Judah has made the biggest improvement the fastest and putting a lot of golf balls in play. Makes the semifinal last month in Hope Sound. JJ ended up going up against Kyle in the finals, hit it 420 to 417. And what we talked about the golf ball. A lot of guys made adjustments. I feel like that was the biggest adjustment, was the 4 weeks of getting the data back from FlightScope, being able to make those modifications to shaft setup, driver setup, and spin, launch, all the above. And I really like the golf ball. I mean, I got to hit it yesterday, and there's some things that even I did, like just being in the booth and seeing all this. A little high and a little off the toe. Like, I mean, we're talking a smidgen.
Makes
in
a
the
big
ball,
difference.
and it's a different characteristic in the golf ball flight. Because I hit a couple where I just center punched them, and they just came up just a little short. So you watch like these guys like yell at these golf balls, and it didn't go as far. So like you have to make that adjustment. Like the golf ball's telling you a story, and it's a matter of figuring it out and making those adjustments. But a lot of those guys made those big adjustments. In Hope Sound, especially the guys that were like ultra fast, like really fast. The guys that are 220 up to 230, they launch, spin, landing angles.
I mean, we go back to Kyle in that first set where he hit a little off, came back, and knocked it out of the park, taking over majority of the sets after that.
Yeah. So we're looking at, let's say, someone like Brandon Cobb. I hit 190, 195 pretty consistently in the sim. I don't think I could compete, though. You can. Believe me, you can. I mean, I can say it. I hit yesterday, and I know my ball speed numbers. I was 192 to 196, but for me it was all about flight and spin, landing angles, what have you, and was able to be semi-competitive.
Right.
But then you get a guy that's like Eddie Fernandez that gets gets a gust of wind, like a good one where, I mean, he center punches a ball at 220 and he flights it correctly. I mean.
You just learn what your strengths are, right? If you are someone that can hit it in the grid consistently, you go with that and you try and build on your speed over time. Yeah. I think one of the greatest things coming soon is that we're going to have the opportunity for you to go out to TrackMan to compete as if you were here on a grid to see where you kind of size up and if you want to come out here and give it a shot. But I think majority of people can actually be here and learn and compete and grow into the speed if they want.
Yeah, well, the guy that I think about, Brandon Flynn, someone that's like a 208, 210 guy as of right now, like no one's overlooking him ever. Like he wins tournaments, but he flights it so well,
so good.
and he wins with ball speeds that if you look at these numbers right now that FlightScope provides, like 208 can beat 220, 225.
We have the same instructor, and it's so fun to see all the numbers that he's working out and learning consistently. I think that last set, actually, Sam Judah wound up winning.
Yep. JJ ended up taking third there.
And that's kind of what we said we will see here in these later sets is someone like JJ that, has a 98% chance that he's going to make it to the next round, right? Yeah. Kind of tweak some things, play with some clubs. You normally will see some guys bring up a club or two, sometimes 3 clubs, and just seeing what is going to be best for them once they get to head-to-heads.
Reed Russell 600 points, Seb Twiddell 600, Sam Judah and Sean Johnson. Well, Sam Judah is at 500, so Sam's going to be in. He, like I said, not a guy that I'm worried about going OB anymore. Hopefully I don't jinx him, but he is looking really good to start off this tournament. Sam Judah, Sean Johnson with 350, Justin James at 350, Jeremy Nowak at 300. Keith Hawkins after 3 sets is at 250. This is a good start for Bryce Plank, and I say a good start, not distance-wise, but he's got a ball in play. Got to add up those points. So he ends up winning the first set, goes OB. Essentially, you look at it like I have 2 second-place finishes. Kyle Richter takes the lead at 366. Richter at 50 points right now, going off an OB set. But right now, Kyle Richter is only at 50 points with 2 sets to start off the tournament. But he wins this set, he'll have 250.
Yeah.
You know? He's
Anything
got a good
can make
chance.
a change, and this is why it's so important to just get a ball in the grid.
Yeah.
You never know if the fastest person in your group might go all OB, and that gives you an opportunity to sneak into first place.
Matt Stubbs in slot number 1, working on a number here. Gabriel Carr Landry hit a lot of balls yesterday. He hit in the locals and hit in the regionals. So I said fatigue might be a factor. He hasn't competed, several years. So I mean, I feel like the shaft technology is improved drastically over the years, and we talked about it over the last, 2 events. These shafts, you don't have to fight them. You don't have to fight the shaft. Like yesterday, I hit 190 CPM shaft. Like I hit the D10 like a noodle. I don't even feel like I hit yesterday. You know? But I jokingly say when you swing as slow as I do it, you can't pull anything.
It's interesting. I think earlier in long drive, everyone thought you had to have like an extra stiff shaft.
Yep.
And now we're just learning what's better, not just for speed, but also for your body.
Yeah, and funny you talk about the shaft setup, but we'll get back to you right after this promo.
The best long hitters in the world have come for a chance to call themselves a world champion. It's all about power. It's all about accuracy. It's all about guts. Everyone chase the championship belts. World championship.
For Kyle Richter, big set for Kyle Richter there. He's going to put himself at 250 points. Bryce Plank takes down second. Matt Stubbs goes OB, and Gabriel Carr and Landry at 371. But we were talking about shaft setups, and I was talking with Jamie Sadlowski a couple of days ago. Yeah, 2 world championships, and a guy that 5'11", 6 foot. We always joked around and said, Jamie just got smaller and smaller and smaller as the years went on. People were like, man, we saw that Sadlanovich kid or Sladowski guy. And how tall is he? 4'9", about 114 pounds soaking wet. But talking to Jamie, and we were talking about like these light poles that were swinging that you felt like you're hit by a car when you were swinging these 3-4X shafts. And I was just telling him, like, he's like, what is everybody using right now? And they're literally using setups between like 190 CPM up to 240, which is still like 240 is a softer setup. And the first person to really be ultra successful, in the open division with, 240 CPM was Kyle Berkshire. Wow. He ends up going out in Rochester and swept the entire field. I believe he hit 17 sets where he won the entire tournament, using a softer setup. So, tip of the cap to all these shaft manufacturers, for making, technology where you would never imagine that you would be able to hit like a spaghetti noodle, like hit it.
And it's so interesting, as we say, these are the fastest, the strongest guys in the world, athletes, but also it takes a lot of work to be able to time that up. To time a shaft like that up, it's a lot of science that goes behind it. I think you could almost call Kyle Berkshire this scientist of world long drive. But it's not just go out and hit it as hard as you can. There's a lot of other factors that go into this sport.
Yep. The GOAT, Jason Zubak, has entered the chat, the 5-time Open Division world champion, Masters Division world champion at the time, now Senior Division. So Jay-Z, hello. He's going to be out in at an event here, the Endless Summer, in the beginning of July.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z is going to be nice to see him back out there.
Hopefully we'll get him in the booth.
Yeah, legend. So, but Jason Zubak talking about, Gabriel, getting in with right around 200 ball speed, but when his qualifying drive, he was 150 more 4 feet in the air, 204.9 ball speed, and ended up going, I think, 404 yesterday to win it. But he was 204.9.
We just had Reed Russell put up the longest drive of the day at 398.
Yeah, Reed has looked so good. And the funny thing with Reed, he said even in Hope Sound, he still hasn't hit his best golf balls. And
that's kind of scary.
Yeah. He's been sitting around 216, 218 ball speed all year so far. And I really feel like that's the prime numbers for this golf ball, especially if you center punch it. So
I think he's got a secret weapon, his wife Ashley, who helps him train a little bit. She's got the dance background, so he's got the flexibility. And then she's got the flexibility teaching him that, and he's got the baseball, which has all the speed. That might be his secret weapon right there.
Reed Russell, 398. Sam Judah, 390. Gabriel Karn Landry, 368. Seb Twiddell, not with a number as of yet, goes OB. And like I said, psychologically for Seb, he's in.
Trying things out. We said we'd see this.
I mean, I really, truly would try to just, conserve some energy, especially at 600 points. But Reed Russell looking good. He's got 4 straight wins. Taking a peek at YouTube here. If you guys have any questions, fire away.
If you're just joining us, this is the round of 64. We have our first group going off, trying to see if they will make it to tomorrow's 32. Then we'll go down to 16-8, where we have the head-to-heads, and soon after that, be crowning a champion.
Yeah. And they're asking questions, what's the heaviest shaft being used by one of the top guys? I mean, you're talking, it's not going to be a lot. I'm going to say anywhere between probably like 65, 66 grams. I mean, I remember us using like the Firewire back in the day, and it was like Joe Miller won with that shaft.
Can you
Carl
imagine
Walter,
him?
it's like 80, 85 grams. I mean, and it was 3x, 4x shaft. Like I said, that shaft destroyed your body. It was.
Could you imagine those guys back then swinging the shafts today?
Oh,
it'd be so interesting.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. I mean, those guys. I feel like just if they're pushing the speed limits, those guys would be, like Zubak. They'd be 230 guys for sure. There's no doubt. I mean, the technology has improved so much as the years have gone on. I mean, it was, like I said, especially the shaft technology. We always talked about hitting a center punch shot at 150 smash factor. I feel like you've been able to hit 150s for a long time, but these shafts have improved so much.
Person to watch here is Sean Johnson. He's in that 4 slot, as we've talked about earlier, that can be difficult, especially if you're going to hit a left to right shot. Wind still pretty good right now at 9 miles per hour.
So if we know that Zubak's tuning in, Jay-Z, in your prime, with this shaft technology, driver technology, and let's just say an older golf ball, like a Pinnacle Gold FX Long or a Volvic ball, or even like you say a left dash. Jay-Z, what are you going? You going 240 point or 241.0 or more? I'd love to know that. So, but really, truly, at the end of the day, it's about ball flight, consistency, getting a lot of balls in play, landing angles. They always jokingly say, I have somewhat of a comedic, Instagram account, and they just people just assume we're complete meatheads that have no idea what we're doing. They're swinging a golf club as hard as we can, and they have no idea the science that goes into this.
That's what's so great about having Flight Scope, is so we can see all these numbers that these guys practice with. They're able to gauge this through technology these days, and we're able to have a better understanding as we're watching right now all the data that Flight Scope is providing for us at these events.
Keith Hawkins, 368. He's been really consistent this entire time. He's in and around the same numbers the whole time.
solid group with looking like Keith taking the lead. And we will come back here soon and give you the final update of this group.
You can compete for your shot to make it to the World Long Drive Championship. With a $25 community membership, you'll get the opportunity to join a local qualifier in your area in hopes of advancing to regionals, a 10% discount on merchandise, and insider access to pre-sales and registrations in the newsletter. Join now at worldlongdrive.com.
And we're back here in Mesquite, Nevada, the home of Long Drive, the holy grail of grids. We just got finished watching, let me see here, AJ, Matthew, Matt, and Seb. Right now looking to see Anthony, Louise, Matthew Love, Jeremy Nowak, and Bryce. I think the person to look out right now is Bryce. Already put one in the grid. And from here, he's able to kind of unleash. He's sitting at a really great spot at 7th place right now. If he takes this lead, 8th place, sorry. As he takes this lead, we will be able to see if he will make it into the top 8 to advance to tomorrow. Right now, we have Reed Russell is number 1. Seb at number 2. Sam Judah, number 3. Sean Johnson, 4. Justin James sits at number 5. Keith Hawkins at number 6 with 350 points. Battling out the 2 right now, Jeremy Nowak and Vice Verplank, number 7, number 8. They both set 300 points. This is going to be a really big set for them to see who's going to have that opportunity to make it to the round 32s. Anthony looking really excited out there as he's starting to have a little bit of movement and conversating with the crowd. Vice Verplank in the lead right now at 384 yards. Just put another ball in the grid there. Little high spin, but carry distance says 388. That might be his longest ball of this set. We'll get that number. Yep, 399. Almost 400. That's the longest ball of the day.
About 3 or 4 hours from now, 399 is going to probably lose by 50 yards.
It might be the shortest ball of the rounds
sure.
then.
It's projected to be up to 30-mile-per-hour gusts of wind here later. Hopefully all this technology in front of us is going to be okay. We have 4 monitors, computer, 2 cameras, iPad, 2 phones, and another TV.
You just call us Best Buy. Vice Verplank definitely taking the win here at 399. That really helps set him up to make sure that he is in for tomorrow's rounds.
So we're looking at some of the questions here with the D10 and other 200-ish CPM shafts. How do you keep the spin down? I've hit so many balls, whatever. The spin numbers are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think changing some gram weights in the head, what have you.
I think looking at your kick points too in a shaft. I mean, just playing with it over and over and over again and kind of seeing what setup is perfect for you makes a huge difference. Did Jay-Z get back to us on his number?
No, it hasn't yet. I just wish he would just say 240, 241. But like I said, Jay-Z being the GOAT, he's going to take the humble approach, right? But I said he would. There's no doubt. Like guys like Sean Pfister. I mean, Pfister was lightning fast. Yeah, like those guys, there's no doubt. I feel like those guys would be in the 230s for sure if they you know.
So this is kind of a big set for Justin.
He's at 350.
350.
Ball and play is going to be important. JJ in slot number 4, 213.8, right down the right side. Spun a little bit, 3,000. Slight miss hit for JJ. But looks...
Slight hit in the grid.
Looks just in control. Patrick Graber, Matt Stubbs, Dwight Riddle, Justin James. JJ coming off a win in Hope Sound. 219.2, 12. I like this launch and spin. So the ideal launch in Hope Sound was like 13, 14.
Was you really had to get the ball in the air. Justin James for this ball now at 406. Wind hasn't changed that much. We're still at 9 miles per hour. Getting a little bit warmer here at 58 degrees Fahrenheit, but that is a big number.
Yep. Dwight Riddle, 395.
And the grid's starting to dry out a little bit.
Yeah, it's 58. Yeah, you said 58.9, so it's going to get a little bit warmer. There's no humidity here. The weather's perfect. Lot chillier earlier this year. Matt Stubbs with a number on the board at 375. Matt Stubbs has to go win-win, or he will be eliminated. You know, he's at 25 points right now, but
just hit a big ball right there.
Win-win. Let's take a peek at Matt Stubbs. 208.5 ball speed, 121 feet in the air, 2,100 spin. Riddle looking good too. 216 ball. But this win for Justin James will put him at 550 points and safely in to day number 2.
What do you think these guys do after finishing a round like today, knowing that they're going into tomorrow's round?
Well, I mean, you gotta stay hydrated. We're out in the desert here, so I think a lot of times you forget to drink a lot of water out here. I mean, just stay hydrated, eat well, get some good rest. I know some of these guys struggle, you know, sleeping night before an event or before. So I think, you know, it's really important to try to get as much rest as you possibly can. I know it's pretty simple to say that, but, you know, some of these guys really struggle sleeping.
Introducing the new Bridgestone E9 Long Drive, co-designed by World Long Drive athletes to push the limits of distance. Thanks to extreme ball speed and superior aerodynamic flight. Engineered for you to hit your longest drive. Drive the new E9 Long Drive, extreme distance for your game.
Reed Russell, Seth Twiddell, Sam Judah, Sean Johnson, Bryce Hurt playing Justin James. Looks like they will be in for tomorrow, the round of 32. 64 guys are going to go down to 32 today. They'll be hitting until right around, I'd say about 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are tuning in, we got all day action of the Open Division. Reed Russell with 4 straight wins. Reed finished second here in Mesquite earlier this year. Lost to Martin Borgmeyer. Borgmeyer going back-to-back wins on this grid. Won a world championship last year and also took down the win and made a final 8 in Hope Sound. So Marty Borgie, 240, will be hitting here later on in the day. Martin also is hosting an event in Germany May 21st and 22nd. If I'm wrong, Martin, please tell me. Maybe it's the 20th and the 21st. It's Saturday, Sunday. So the Pride of Munich, Germany, going to be hosting an event here. So it's nice. We're really looking forward to traveling all over the world, and this is a global sport. You got guys from all over the world, competing. A couple Australian gentlemen, and we will be joining Seb Twiddell here, asking him a few questions once he's done with his final set. But Naoto Masumi ended up qualifying yesterday from Japan. A guy that really, really fast, by the way. Fast hands. He was 150, 455 club speed. Patrick Raber at 372. This is great looking at you got Jason Zubak right now if you're tuning in on YouTube, just really breaking down what these shafts and their capabilities are. You can learn a lot just from him. just look at the comment section right now.
Yeah, what a treat to have him in the comment section.
Yep.
Literally a gift.
Just looking at some of these questions being asked here on YouTube. We have the honor and privilege to be in the presence of greatness through social media with Jason Zubak, the 5-time Open World Champion, and also
wow, Patrick Raber blew through those 6 balls. And we got a tight finish here.
So Keith Hawkins, look at this guy, just the model of consistency right here. He takes this win down. I mean, he looks like he's going to get into the round of 32. So Keith Hawkins, a guy that ended up winning the Amateur World Championship last year. With ball speeds, look at his numbers. 195, 196, 197. Like, he's right around 200 as well. Like,
get that launch just a little bit down.
Flights it so well. And, here he is. He's going to more than likely be in the round in 32. So Keith Hawkins just ultra. I've used ultra 4 times now. I'm trying to mix up the words. Phenomenal was the first term. Well, it was actually in Mesquite. And then we said prototypical ball flight, which we haven't said that. But now we're going ultra. That's 5 now. So
I like ultra.
We kind of got to have to mix up these words as we go. Keith Hawkins looks like he's going to take down the set. He'll have 550 points. He will be in to the round of 32. So the 2022 Amateur Division World Champion will be hitting a bare minimum of 30 golf balls tomorrow.
I was watching baseball the other day, my Atlanta Braves, go Braves, and I like the phrase they said. They said, they are working up a lather.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
So.
Yep. Let's see if anybody can sneak in here.
Maybe with
AJ Katusi might have a chance. At 425, that means Jeremy Nowak would be on the bubble. But if Jeremy hits one in play or takes third or better, AJ would be mathematically out. So the one that is in guaranteed is Seb Twiddell. Ended up winning the first 3 sets today, went OB on his 4th set. But what I want to see in slot number 4, I would love to see him just be anywhere between 215 to 220. Let's hit 4 balls in play right here.
He's got 2 clubs with him. It's going to be interesting to see if he switches out a little bit and kind of plays with it. He's already locked in.
So Seb Twiddell, 22 years old from Sydney, Australia. He's 6'6", 255 pounds.
I'd say he's having a good day, mate.
Yeah. He is going to be at every single long drive tournament this year. There he is.
And speaking of all the long drive events, we have many all over the country. So if you're tuning in online, make sure you check out the schedule online on our website to see where you could possibly come and be live. But also, if you are overseas, there are many sanctioned events. Thankfully for Martin Bergmeyer, who put on an event in Germany not long ago that Seb and Matt participated in. They are all over the world. So make sure that you go and see where you could go hit locally.
Seb Twiddell, 383 on his first ball, miss hit, and then just stepped on one there. 217 feet in the air, 2,400 spin, almost a 13 launch, 412 longest ball of the day. That was was a good ball from Seb. And especially there's not that much wind right now. I mean, I guess 9 mile per hour is some. The flags still don't look like there's too much movement.
Not moving much, just a little bit.
Bobby Peterson said yesterday that one of the sets, I think the one that Eddie went 452, he's like one of those flags bent and just snapped in half.
Oh, my goodness.
But, this grid is it definitely gives it up when we get that big old southwest wind.
A good southwest. If it gets into, it's an interesting tournament. When it's with, it's an interesting tournament.
Seb 226.5. That's the fastest ball I've seen so far in this tournament.
Wow.
Ooh, look at the recoil from Seb right there. He's getting after it, 227.6.
A little bit lower spin on that one.
Yep. So instead of taking it off, he's stepping on the gas here.
He's stepping on it.
And there we go. He's got 3 out of the first 4 in play.
I mean, he's made some big adjustments since just
there.
Hope Sound. You'll see that sometimes when we're hitting on turf. Every once in a while, your foot can kind of slip.
He's really testing. He's getting after it. That one was 162 club speed. We're going to get Seb in the booth here.
Seb Twiddell taking the lead on that one at 412, our longest ball of the day so far. 413, I'm sorry. We just got the number back in. We're about to have an interview with him to kind of have a little bit more understanding of what moves that he's made since Hope Sound that has gotten him a little bit more consistent and been able to put up some numbers like he has today. The current fastest man in the world.
Coming in with the new longest drive of the day, Seb Twiddell, 413 yards. AJ Catucci, 384.
What was your game plan to start off this tournament?
Well, the event's not won in the first day, so it's just about getting balls in play, cruising through to the next round, and so it was really just get the swing in, get a shot shape, and just go with that.
Yeah, what I like to see the first couple sets, you were nice in control, 215 to 220 mile per hour ball speed, got a lot of balls in play, but the last set, 162 and then 227. Were you trying to step on the gas a little bit there?
I was. I knew I was on 600 points, so I knew there was pretty much through. So it was like let it go a bit more and try and put some numbers out there, make a statement.
Impressive first day. Get some rest. Good luck tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Seb Twiddell.
Let's go.
Wow, I don't know if you could hear it there. He's a little bit out of breath. That means he was putting everything that he had into all those swings. What a set. What a round. Seb Twiddell, you've outdone yourself. We're here now watching Kyle Richter, Jeremy Nowak, Dwight Riddle, and Sam Judah. Sam Judah already putting up a big number at 399. Jeremy, he's kind of on the bubble, puts up a good one. He kind of solidifies his spot here in the top 8 to move on to the round 32s tomorrow.
The guy that can if Nowak doesn't take a second or better, well, if Nowak takes second, no can catch him. Wrong microphone. There we go.
And we're back.
Wrong headset. We're back. But yeah, Nowak needs to improve here, or he's going to put himself, at risk to, get bubbled here. He's at 400 points. If he takes second or better, he's 100% in, and the field is set. Dwight Riddle, still working on a number. Dwight Riddle can win the set and have 450. Nowak takes third. There would be a tie, which would force Kyle Richter. I mean, Kyle Richter has to win right here. So right now, Nowak is looking good. Nowak's looking good right now just based off of the numbers. So Sam Judah, if he wins, I mean, he's already in. Kyle Richter needs to win the set. Yeah. Nowak's still looking good here. He's going to have 450 points. So if Dwight Riddle goes OB, he can't, he obviously can't get in.
And this is where the difference of hitting on the range versus hitting here on the platform makes a huge difference. He knows what he has to do in order to make sure he solidifies his spot.
So Riddle going OB and Richter not improving. Jeremy Nowak's going to get in. He's going to have 450 points. So he's in. So the field is set. Reed Russell, Seb Twiddell, Sam Judah, Justin James, Sean Johnson, Keith Hawkins, Bryce Verplink, and Jeremy Nowak are going to be in the round of 32 tomorrow.
That was a fun first group.
Yep, we got a couple more guys sitting here. But
this group will be really fun because these guys all are in already. We're going to be seeing them play around with clubs. Maybe Justin James, do you think he'll step on it a little bit? It's always fun.
Yeah, who knows?
No need to, but
who knows? Like I said, if they want to work on some things, but what they're probably going to look at is the wind. Like, is the wind going to be different tomorrow? Like, I don't know what Justin really is going to need to work on right now.
No, he's already in cruise control.
Yeah. 377 tuning in right now on YouTube.
Make sure you guys leave some questions and comments for us. Yep. We've had Jay-Z in the group chat, which if you have any questions for him, I'm pretty sure he's more than welcome to lend all of his great GOAT knowledge.
Yep. And once again, thank you, Jay-Z, for providing information. Like I said, he says it so eloquently. The way he writes this, and it makes it easy to understand as well.
Yeah, I think the simplicity of long drive, right, is you hit it as far as you can. The person that hits the furthest wins. But there's so many intricate things that go into actually winning an event. As we've talked about, you've got the club, you've got the shaft, but then also you have these numbers that are provided by FlightScope that kind of show you what you need to do in order to optimize a great ball flight and make sure that, you're hitting the best shots that you can.
So this tournament's a little bit different structured than the first time we were out here. So when we hit here in March, we had 48 hitters, and the top 2 guys out of the 3 round robin brackets made it automatically to the round of 16.
A huge advantage.
So there was something to kind of play for in that last set, and to try to accumulate as many points as possible. But that's not the case today. I thought that was pretty cool, though.
That's always fun. I know we did that in Tennessee one year for the girls. We didn't have a even number. That's how I got in. Look at these numbers. You got 210 ball speed, 211, 211, 212. They're all around the same.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
These guys are cruising. No one's stepping on the gas here at all. And I think that's a good play too. Because tomorrow it's going to be 78 swings. The way we had it structured in Hope Sound is that we had a 3-day event in the open division instead of 2. So they went 30, 30, 48 as far as balls hit. So Reed Russell's got a number on the board. So if it was like last tournament, it looks like Sam Judah and Seb Twiddell would have gone into a playoff for that second spot to automatically put themselves in the round of 16 and not the round of 24. Reed Russell's going to take down the set. He has a ball in play, so he will be your number 1 seed. JJ stepped on that one a little bit, right at about 220. Launched it at 10.8, 193 feet in the air, 2,600 spin. Spun it just a tad. That's not too bad of numbers, with a little bit of downwind. And he rode the wind as well. It's a little left to right if you can maybe see the flags on YouTube right now. The flags are a little left to right.
Just slightly.
395 from JJ.
Reed putting a little bit more gas into that last shot.
Looks like we're going to be able to get JJ here for an interview, if we can get him.
Solid finish by these guys for the first round of our 64 going into who will make it to the top 32. It is set, field is set with Reed Russell, number 1, Seb Twiddell, number 2, Sam Judah, Sean Johnson, Justin James, Keith Hawkins, Bryce Verplink, and Jeremy Nowak. We will see all of them tomorrow to see which 32 will be in our top 16. We're waiting here to see Justin James as he comes off of his final set. Break down kind of what was going on in his mind and what his game plan is for this week.
We got the 2017 World Champion walking up here. Justin James getting mic'd up. Ended up winning the last set. I think he finished with 750 points. There isn't even a drop of sweat on him right now. JJ, conserving some energy. How you feeling?
A little tired. East Coast time.
Yeah, it's tough to kind of adjust, but you make any adjustments from Hope Sound?
Yeah, I'm not hitting it as good. That's one adjustment I made. Same equipment, just you wake up a little different every day. So, you know, we'll try to find it. It's close, just angles are a little bit off. So it's real, you know, it's real finicky going that hard. You know, you can't just heel cut one or kind of, you know, groove it. You're swinging hard, so everything is accentuated. So that's why you see some goofy shots. So, you know, we'll try to find it, get in a groove, and come back tomorrow.
Good news is, first group off today. You got plenty of time to rest. What's the game plan moving forward the next 24 hours?
Well, we'll have to find something to do. Bowling alley at Virgin River is an option. A couple good local buffets at the Casa. Possibly Zion. And then there's always Vegas down the road. So we've got some options. That's the good news.
Justin James cruising through day one. We will see him tomorrow in the round of 32.
Always great to hear from Justin James. I'm excited to see if he goes to Vegas, which is only 80 miles away from us, or if he decides to go look at Zion or, I don't know, hit up some buffets. We will be back at 10 o'clock for our second group to see who will make it out of that group to the top 32 for tomorrow.